Welcome to Jikook Lover, the place where hidden moments, shocking twists, and the biggest mysteries about finally come to light. Before we go any further, make sure you hit like, drop your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe right now, because what you're about to hear, no one saw coming. Imagine this for a second. A city in the United States suddenly changes overnight. The atmosphere feels different. The energy, unexplainable. The name BTS isn't just being shouted by fans anymore, it's being recognized at an official level. And here's the part that doesn't make sense. This isn't just about a concert, not just a visit, not even a typical award. Something bigger is happening. Something that has armies all over the world asking the same question. Why does this feel so different this time? What really happened behind the scenes? Why is this being called the first time in history? And more importantly, is this just the beginning of something much bigger? It all started with what seemed like a simple announcement, but the impact? Global, explosive, and full of unanswered questions. In a world where headlines come and go in seconds, BTS has once again shaken everything. Not with a comeback, not with a new album, but with something far more symbolic. An official recognition from a region in the United States. A place that, until now, wasn't even on the radar of many global fans. And yet suddenly all eyes turned there. The city became the center of attention. Local media picked it up. Fans began arriving. Social media, completely out of control. Hashtags climbing nonstop. But beneath all the excitement, one question kept echoing louder than the rest. Why BTS and why now? The award itself sounds simple. Estimado Amigo. But the meaning behind it? Much deeper than anyone expected. It represents respect, connection, and something that goes beyond music. A bond between global artists and a community that feels seen, heard, and connected. But here's where things start to feel unusual. Because this isn't just about an award. Shortly after, another announcement dropped. One that left people completely speechless. Specific dates, once ordinary, were suddenly declared as BTS Weekend. Officially, recognized, documented, and that's when everything changed. Was this just appreciation? Or is there something bigger being set in motion? Armies started connecting dots. Some called it undeniable proof of BTS's global impact. Others felt like this was a signal, a shift into something entirely new. Then came the theories. Some believe this is the beginning of a major project in the US. Others think it's tied to something that hasn't been revealed yet. And a few are even revisiting past moments, events that once seemed random, but now feel like clues leading to this exact point. Media outlets began amplifying the story. Words like historic, unprecedented, and never seen before started appearing everywhere. But the more people talked about it, the less clear it became. Why now? Why this place? Why does it feel like part of something bigger we're not being told? Meanwhile, fan reactions exploded across the internet. Emotional messages, shock, pride, confusion. Because even though this is clearly a positive moment, there's something about it that feels incomplete. Like we're only seeing part of a story. And if there's one thing longtime fans know about BTS, it's this: they never move without meaning. Every step, every moment, every decision carries layers most people don't immediately see. So when a city in the US officially declares BTS Weekend, can we really believe it's just coincidence? Or is it a signal? A sign that BTS's influence has moved beyond music, beyond entertainment, into something much bigger than anyone expected. And if this truly is the first time something like this has ever happened, then the next question becomes even more unsettling. Will this happen again in other cities? Is this about to become a global trend? Or is this just the beginning of something massive that hasn't been revealed yet? Because one thing is certain, when the world starts paying attention like this, something big is coming. And now the question is yours to answer. Is this really just another award for? Or are we witnessing the start of a new chapter that could change everything for BTS and ARMY forever? And just when it seemed like the conversation couldn't get any louder, it did. Because behind the viral headlines and emotional fan reactions, something else quietly began to unfold. Small details, almost invisible at first, started catching people's attention. Clips resurfaced. Old interviews were reanalyzed. Moments that once felt ordinary suddenly carried a different weight. It was as if the past itself was being pulled back into the spotlight, forcing fans to ask, was this planned all along? The timeline didn't feel random anymore. The dates, the location, the wording of the announcement, everything began to feel intentional. And in the world of intentional is never just a coincidence. This is a group known for storytelling that stretches across years, where even the smallest detail can connect to something much bigger. So naturally, fans started digging deeper. Why that specific title? Estimado Amigo. Why not something more common, more expected? The phrase itself carries cultural meaning, warmth, friendship, respect. But when placed in this context, it feels like more than just a gesture. It feels like a message to the community, a message to the fans, or possibly a message to the industry itself. Because let's be honest, this isn't something we see every day. Global artists receive awards all the time. They break records, top charts, sell out stadiums. But having an entire weekend officially named after them in a US city, that crosses into territory that feels different, almost symbolic, almost political in a way that people aren't openly discussing yet. And that's where the tension begins. Because while many celebrate this as a proud moment, and it absolutely is, others are starting to question the deeper implications. What does it mean when a music group reaches this level of recognition? Where is the line between cultural influence and something even bigger? Some fans believe this is proof that BTS has transcended the traditional boundaries of entertainment, that they are no longer just artists, but global figures shaping conversations, communities, and even identity. Others wonder if this moment signals a shift in how international artists are embraced in spaces that once felt distant or exclusive. And then there's the silence. Because despite the massive reaction, despite the global attention, there are still gaps. Details that haven't been fully explained. Decisions that haven't been publicly clarified. And in those gaps, speculation grows. Could there be upcoming collaborations tied to this? Is there an event that hasn't been announced yet? Or is this recognition connected to something behind the scenes that hasn't reached the public? The more people try to answer these questions, the more complex it becomes. Meanwhile, on the ground, the atmosphere continues to build. Fans sharing videos of gatherings, banners appearing in unexpected places, local businesses joining in, embracing the moment. What started as a single announcement has now transformed into something alive, something that extends far beyond official statements. And yet, even in the middle of celebration, that lingering feeling remains. That something is coming. Because if history has taught ARMY anything, it's this. Moments like these are rarely standalone. They are often the beginning of a chain reaction. A domino effect that leads to something far greater than anyone initially imagined. Think about it. How many times has BTS done something that seemed small at first, only for it to later reveal a much bigger picture? A performance that hinted at a concept. A speech that later connected to a global campaign. A single moment that eventually became a defining milestone. So when this BTS Weekend announcement appeared, could it really just end there? Or is it the first piece of something we haven't fully seen yet? And then there's another layer to this that fans are starting to whisper about, but not everyone is ready to say out loud. Timing. Because the timing of this recognition doesn't just feel significant, it feels almost strategic. Placed at a moment when global attention is already shifting, when conversations around BTS are evolving, when expectations are quietly building again. Is it possible that this is part of a larger reintroduction? A way of reigniting global focus before something major drops? Or could it be something even more unexpected? Because the truth is, BTS has never followed a predictable path. They've built their legacy by breaking patterns, redefining norms, and doing things that no one saw coming. And this feels exactly like that. Unpredictable, unusual, and just mysterious enough to keep everyone watching. Even those who aren't fans are starting to take notice. Media outlets that once focused only on music are now discussing cultural impact. Commentators are analyzing what this means for global influence. And quietly, a bigger conversation is forming, one that goes beyond BTS, beyond fandoms, into the idea of how culture itself is shifting. Because when a city officially recognizes a group like this, it's not just about popularity. It's about impact. Real, measurable, undeniable impact. And that's what makes this moment so powerful and so confusing at the same time. Because impact like this doesn't just appear overnight. It builds. It evolves. And when it finally reaches a point like this, it usually signals that something even bigger is already in motion. So now we're left in this strange space. A space between celebration and curiosity, between pride and speculation, between what we know and what we're still trying to understand. And maybe that's exactly where we're supposed to be. Watching, waiting, trying to piece it all together. Because if there's one thing that feels certain right now, it's this. This story isn't finished. Not even close. The recognition, the BTS Weekend. The award, they might look like the main event. But what if they're just a setup? What if the real moment, the one that changes everything, is still ahead? And if that's true, then we might be witnessing something far more important than we realize. Not just a historic first, but the beginning of a shift in how artists are seen, a shift in how influence is measured, a shift in how global culture connects in ways we haven't fully understood yet. And if BTS is at the center of that shift, then the next move becomes the biggest question of all. So now let's ask the question no one can seem to answer. Is this truly just a once-in-a-lifetime honor for